So, what is the current status of the actual digital card game Poison, Water, Wine? Well, if you'd like an answer to that question, you're in luck. So, let's load up Unity and take a look. I hope you brought your sunscreen. This is the official game. Now, I'm going to go over each of the elements in a moment, but very quickly, before I do, let me just turn my camera back on. Hopefully you can see me. I do want to note just 3 very essential caveats before I describe everything. The first is that I am an amateur coder, and this is a very, very early stage of the game. If anybody is an experienced coder, they'll laugh at how basic what you're looking at. I'm excited because I'm excited for the project, but this is very, very easy to do. This is not super advanced coding, especially when you use Unity. So I don't want to misrepresent the current status of the game. It's very early days. Second, most of the work that you're seeing in this video here is a video that's on an asset in the background. So there's actually not that much going on here. There are some assets, and I have done some coding, but by and large, the video in the background is doing most of the work here to give the visual impression that there's a lot more going on here than there is. And last but not least, I just want to note the vision of this channel really is more so about primitive technology. For those who don't know, primitive technology is one of my favorite YouTube channels, and it's just a guy in the woods and he's building things all by himself, but it's super interesting and super addictive just because it's interesting to see how far one guy can go sledging away in the woods. And really that's my vision for this channel. It's not to show advanced coding or the greatest artwork or the greatest writing. It really is to try to highlight, what can one guy do with a reasonable talent stack of skills applied broadly across art, writing, and a little bit of coding, and what can he get up to? So I say all of that just to, again, manage expectations. This is very early days, and this is not that impressive if you're a genuine coder or writer or artist. But for me, for one guy, I think it should be pretty cool. All right, I am so pumped to show you guys this game. So to start things off, there is a button here that I can draw cards with, and it'll randomly give me 5 cards. That's the opening hand that you receive in the game of Poison, Water, Wine. I can then take any one of these cards and I can either place it in front of myself, or in this case, it's a poison, so I can give it to an enemy player, and it goes face down. So until he flips that over, he'll have no idea what card that is. And then for myself, I can place, let's give myself 2 wine here. I'm going for the wine victory. The last key mechanic is I can flip these over. So these can be turned over. This is another key mechanic of the game. It does require kind of its own script for it. And I can draw kind of an unlimited amount of cards as the game progresses. And you'll see that there is wine, there is poison, and there is water. So I'm going to give myself all the good ones, give my opponent all the bad ones there. And that's essentially it. The only last thing to note are these counters over here. One of the key mechanics of the game is it tracks how many cards are in the field of play. This, once you get to 5, it triggers the last call phase, which then gets into the very final scoring phase where you actually end up turning these cards over. So that was another piece that had to be coded here. These are counters. So you see here, last call imminent because there's 5 cards. So if I were to then end my turn, their turn would be the last turn, and then we would go into the scoring phase. And last but not least, those who may be confused about why is there a boat and some water, if you don't play as many games online and you're just here to sort of support the channel, that's amazing, happy to have you. The real answer is it's purely thematic. It's just designed to support the underlying story. So all you really need is a deck of cards. So this one here is from the original Kickstarter campaign. But beyond that, everything is sort of just a bonus. So the hope as an artist is I can use that to create a bunch of cool visual elements that are going to support a campaign that has sort of a story about the hero going through trying to win this tournament at the edge of world in. So yeah, don't get confused by all the fancy, shiny bells and whistles. What's really important right now for the coding is just those elements that I described of being able to place cards, being able to track them, and then eventually being able to score them and then move through the various phases. So there you have it. That is the current status of the digital card game. As you can see, we're in the very early stages of development, but I hope there's lots of potential. If you found this interesting, I hope you'll follow along. But if not, hope you have a good day. Cheers.